Yes, guys, we are finally back. We finally made it to another one, brothers and sisters. I know you guys missed me on the Brbptv and Mr. Lick's reaction, guys, for some days. But of course, if you were definitely tuning into the Mr. Lick's reacts, or no, the Mr. Lick's vlogs channel, brothers and sisters, you would have get certain vibrations for which you can definitely check out, guys. The videos are definitely up on there, and of course, big up on yourself for definitely being a part of these vibrations. Big up to all the masses I met, brothers and sisters, and of course, we had a wonderful time, man. Of course, definitely check out the Mr. Lick's vlogs channel, brothers and sisters. I'll leave the latest video in the description below, so you can definitely click that, check that out, and then check out the previous ones as well on the Mr. Lick's vlogs right there. But brothers and sisters, welcome to this here Brbptv. Hopefully, I'll be dropping another video on the Mr. Lick's reaction, guys, today. So definitely tune in for that. Brothers and sisters, don't forget to do what? Click the like button, brothers and sisters. I would appreciate that. Click the like button, click the thumbs up button, and of course helping the algorithms to push these videos for them for the out there, brothers and sisters. And of course, don't forget to do what, guys? Definitely subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations. Click subscribe, click the bell, and then click all, brothers and sisters, so you'll be notified, and also helping this here channel to grow in that regard right there. Without further ado, brothers and sisters, let us get into the vibrations for today right there. Now, brothers and sisters, there was something rather interesting that took place in Dominica. I think it was either today or yesterday. There was some sort of blazing fire, brothers and sisters. And of course, Dominica was under some serious smoke. You would swear that there was a concerted effort to destroy mosquitoes in the area, brothers and sisters. But of course, this is the landfill area. And of course, I'm not sure if they set this on fire themselves or the sun decided to do the job, that of which Mother Nature tends to do. It wants to set things on fire. It will definitely do so, brothers and sisters. And it seems like this is what has happened as a result of the heat, brothers and sisters, to the point where this thing escalated all the way into the night, brothers and sisters, where firefighters were fighting firemen with water and what have you, brothers and sisters, or looking at it. They run out of water or something. Anyways, brothers and sisters, let's hope that, you know, that situation was resolved. But of course, the firefighters definitely came and decided to put out the fire right there. Or of course, if that escalated a bit more, you know, things would have been, you know, in turmoil, brothers and sisters, especially for the dry season. Of course, there's a lot of heat and dry things. Dry heat in the, brings a lot of dry leaves and dry bushes around, so that can be a problem right there. So hopefully, you know, nobody got hurt as a result of this thing. Thank God for that. But this was rather interesting right there. Check out right interesting, brothers and sisters. I got some great news. Well, apparently what seems to be great news. Prime Minister Brown announced Liat's acquisition of a 120 passenger aircraft, brothers and sisters. That of course is a good thing on the concern that Liat 2020 will be coming up very shortly. And of course, it seems like they're getting the jet planes. It seems like they're getting the jet planes. It's interesting. Anyways, let's listen to what they have to say right there. You see, this looks like the jet planes right there, now the propeller planes. So I guess we'll see how things go. I guess that's an elevation. Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, the Nigerian individuals or the African individuals have also been a part of the Liat 2020, and as a result of that, Liat seems to be bouncing back, of course, maybe in quick fashion. So hopefully what might take us, you know, an hour to reach somewhere will take us about 30 minutes, hopefully, brothers and sisters. I don't know, but there's jet planes, and of course it seems like the Caribbean airlines are looking into getting jet planes. Even another one I noticed, Intercaribbean, that's an airline I just do not like at all. I just don't like it. But of course, a number of persons have indicated to me that Intercaribbean has also gotten jet planes. I normally say I have a love-hate relationship. I have a hate-hate relationship for Intercaribbean. For real. Intercaribbean will be my last resort, brothers and sisters. I don't care if Intercaribbean was cheap and the other ones were expensive. I choosing the expensive ones. It have to be where Intercaribbean is the only airline that are wrong for me to use it, brothers and sisters. I just don't like that plane. Hey, from the very beginning they screw it up for me. But anyways, I'll leave that alone. Those of you who know, I actually did a reaction some years ago on them. So those of you who know, you know what I'm talking about. And they did it about, man, let me leave them people alone. But Liat is definitely looking to come back, and we are hoping for Liat to be better.
So, you know, last Tuesday was, you know, a great day in aviation history, in which we received 2 aircraft, which will be added to the Liat fleet. As you know, the government of Antigua and Barbuda is just about to complete the...
Wait a while. Guys, they're saying that they added 2 aircrafts to their fleet. So that means they have more aircrafts. Hopefully I understood it correctly. But they're saying they added more aircrafts to their fleet. Right,
the purchase
there.
of the 3.
That's good. You know, we wouldn't have to be struggling and we're struggling today.
ATRs. The reason why we haven't made a payment as well is because we're waiting a final court approval to be given to the administrator to complete the sale. So as soon as that is done, we will send off the proceeds, which are in escrow so far. So Liat will start with about 6 planes. There's a third aircraft to follow, and that will come next month.
So wait, how much planes they have?
So Liat will start with about 6 planes. There's
6 planes. Okay, Liat will start with about 6. Hey, I like how it's going there. Hopefully we get to use. Oh, I wonder if it's the same website they'll use, boy. Because that website had fixed prices, so to speak, and you could get cheap flights, man. You know, relatively cheap flights compared to the others. So hopefully maybe they will use the same website. I don't know, but they have a whole set of new individuals involved in this. So I can just hope for the best, man.
Third aircraft to follow, and that will come next month.
So I'm guessing they're talking about having 2. They acquired 2 new ones, then they're gonna have another one. So I'm guessing in total it'll be 6 aircrafts, airlines.
So you'll
aircrafts.
have 6, and then I'm told subsequently there's a 120-seater that will follow. So they will have a total of about 7 aircraft. The government is also putting in a building which was formerly leased by Goddard at the airport as part of the asset base of Liat. So Liat will end up with probably close to, I'd say maybe about $80 million US in assets eventually. So unlike the previous Liat that never had any assets.
So that shows a lot of promise. Hopefully the service also improves. Brothers and sisters, we are accustomed of getting, well, in Dominica, we are accustomed of getting new stuff with terrible services, brothers and sisters. We have nice new buildings, wonderful, you know, but the service suck, brothers and sisters. Hopefully, well, this is Antigua, so let's hope that Antigua is a bit different when it comes down to Dominica. I think who is this person? The person that inside there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, it's not who I thought it was. Okay. All right then. Yeah, so yeah, Liat shows promise. I do have to say that Liat, the previous Liat, and under their own and same management, hopefully they get to give the salaries to the individuals and the back pay, how much that the employees of former Liat owed. So it's one thing to bring back the planes and feel like, hey, everything is nice and dandy, when the previous one owes I think a few $1 million. So if that is the case, then I think, you know, something should be done, and not just say, oh, we're moving on with Liat, while the former employees of Liat, they don't seem to get any compensation as a result of what has happened. But of course, the new Liat definitely has a new standing, of course, new shareholders from the African continent as well. I think from what I understood, the African individuals from the Africa part of Liat, Africa that is part of Liat, they own about 75% shares in Liat, and the others own about 25%. So be that the case, brothers and sisters, that is indeed something remarkable right there. But hopefully, you know, the other airline, the previous one, definitely meets and addresses the issues that it had before, because that would not be nice at all to know you working somewhere and they don't pay you for how much months, and they lay you, or they don't necessarily lay you off, but you work in, and you know, they put you on thing, whatever it is, and retainer or whatever, and they don't pay you. I mean, come on, that's not fair. But we definitely need Liat back. I have respect for Caribbean Airlines. I've traveled on Copa Airlines. Inter-Caribbean suck. I don't like that plane at all. If Inter-Caribbean have to give me sponsors, I don't even want it. I have to tell you. How it is. I don't even want it, brothers and sisters, because I don't think they're a good airline at all. But hopefully Liat comes in, you know, and everything works out as well, and you know, everything gets rectified. But it's really interesting that we see Antigua talking about aircraft and trying to move forward, and then we get in this information right here, brothers and sisters.
China building new outpost on U.S. doorstep. Leaked documents reveal. This article's.
So China is building a new outpost. This is alleging. China is building new outposts And it seems like they're building in Antigua.
U.S. doorstep, leaked documents reveal. This article is deeply troubling, Newsweek, because China basically has taken over Antigua.
Now, before we continue, brothers and sisters, let me bring this back. I dislike when people overseas calling the Caribbean the United States doorstep. I dislike that to the T. Are you calling us your doorstep? Huh? So use our toilet then. Huh? Because you behind us. Normally the toilet does be outside, the pit toilet. You all use our pit toilet? Huh? Why are you calling us all your doorstep? We're not all your doorstep. I understand the rhetoric, but I don't like that statement at all. Just like when the students used to come and say they on the rock. I understand the sentiment. Yes, it's a rock compared to the big continent, but you say it's a rock, and then I used to say, oh, well, you're going back to the big rock. That's what I say. You going to the big rock, or you come to the little rock, so you're going back to the big rock. When they used to say that, that's what I used to see. But the Caribbean is a whole vibe by itself. It's not your doorstep for you to step to the Caribbean and go into America. No, man.
On
Anyway.
U.S. doorstep, leaked documents reveal. This article is deeply troubling, Newsweek, because China basically has taken over Antigua. I mean, taken it over.
That's interesting right there, brothers and sisters.
It's gone, Doc. It's gone. If this article is true, Antigua's gone.
And we've seen the progression of this over the past decade or so, and the visits that you've had there and everything. There's been competition between the CCP, Chinese,
Yes.
and Taiwan in trying to get their foot into the Caribbean islands.
They have Chinese already inside the Caribbean, man. They're inside the Caribbean. I haven't heard in certain parts of the Caribbean they're trying to teach people Chinese. Yes, in schools I've heard that they're trying to teach people Chinese, which is rather interesting. Or is that Africa? What are them, brothers and sisters?
Let's take a look at what Newsweek is reporting.
Well, this is from that Newsweek article, as mentioned here, on a Caribbean island just 220 miles from the shore of the U.S. Virgin Islands. A black-clad Chinese security guard swept an arm at more than 1,000 acres of woodland and the glittering aqua-green marine reserve beyond and said, "It's like a small country," he
Interesting.
said in Chinese.
Now, let me stop right there. You know what he's saying? How many acres?
1,000 acres.
1,000 acres. China has an economic zone of 1,000 acres on the island of Antigua.
What? 1,000 acres? I know what 16 acres looks like. 1,000 acres though, that's a lot. That's a lot, brothers and sisters. But I know they're talking about, China invading other places and whatnot, but the Chinese also invading America too, Right now they're having complaints that Chinese are acquiring land close to a military base, and to the point where Chinese are building things so high enough to affect the area of where the planes are traveling, the military airbase, airfields is where the planes are coming in, and they are building things high enough to actually see what's happening inside the airfield. So this is not only in the Caribbean this has happened. It seems like the United States is also doing the same thing too. Does that mean it's right? No, it's not right, brothers and sisters. It's not right at all. Because I'm sure you cannot do the same thing in China. Now, don't get me wrong, brothers and sisters. I would understand if, for example, they're talking about, well, I'm more referring to Dominica in that regard, because we've heard the same sentiment that Chinese seem to be taking over lands in Dominica. And if they're taking over 1,000 acres of land in Antigua, that means, there's more acres obviously in Antigua, but that's quite a bit of a land for Chinese to just take over. And who exactly is selling it to them? Just like I asked the questions, who exactly is selling the land in the United States to the Chinese? Who? It is a problem over there. It's also a problem in Antigua, and of course a problem here. Because you cannot do this in China. Can you do this in China, brothers and sisters? Can foreigners decide, hey, I want to buy a piece of lot in China, let me buy it from you to build my home and stay there? Can you do this? I don't know the individuals who tend to watch my videos from China. Let me know in the comment box below, or individuals who are known to have this knowledge. Let me know in the comment box below, because I know that they tend to restrict foreigners. If you do not look Chinese, you're a foreigner. No matter if you have, I don't even think you can acquire citizenship. I guess you get some sort of residential ability or some sort of that, where you are able to stay there and work there and live there and so forth. But you are still not considered a citizen, so to speak. You must look Chinese to be considered a citizen of China. That's a very interesting one right there, brothers and sisters. But the acquiring of land all over the place, I think, is a bit of a concern. And keep in mind, China can print money out of thin air, just like the United States can do the same thing. They print money out of thin air and they give you loans and you have to pay them back with interest. So they're just giving, they're literally not losing any value at all, so to speak. And then they give you that money and then you have to pay them back with interest. And if you cannot pay them back with interest, this is something called the China debt trap. For example, I think they overtook some port in Jamaica because the Jamaicans could not pay back the Chinese, so they took over. Just like when you go to the bank, you take a loan and you can't pay back. The bank take your house. You know, they have your land title and they put it, oh, you can't pay back? Okay, no problem. Well, we take back your house. You have to be very careful, brothers and sisters. And I'm not just talking about China. I'm talking about every outsider out there. I remember one point in time in Dominica, there was a waterfall or something somewhere. They decided to stop and foreigners bought the land. They bought the land and told us that we had to pay to go inside there as Caribbean people. That is something else. Just like we heard the incident in the south of Dominica. The man passing on the main road and the foreigners giving them problem in an area that was considered one of the historical site for slavery or an indication of slavery in that regard. And now they end up taking lives of 2 people and a whole struggle happening, brothers and sisters. Oh boy. So we have to be mindful who we give land, not just worry about Chinese. Worry about everybody, brothers and sisters. Once you are getting people from overseas to come and say, oh, they bringing money into the country and they buying land and so forth and so forth. And you can't do that in the land. I think that is a huge problem. I think that's a very huge problem. And our leaders are the ones doing this. Dominican leaders, Antiguan leaders, Biden is doing this. Anyways, let's continue.
That is not under control of Antigua anymore. It's a Chinese enclave. He said it's like a small country, meaning the Chinese can do anything they want to do on that 1,000 acres. And
really, I don't think that's the case, though. I don't think that's the case, because even if they own land, they still have to abide by the rules of the country. It's not an embassy, unless they are taking the 1,000 acres and making it an entire embassy. If they are doing that, then that is another issue right there. Because then they can literally have a country in a country itself. If they create the whole thing and call it the Embassy of China, then that would be a different story. So
it's authorized too. It goes on, the article here says the natural paradise on the island of Antigua, where officials will study the thoughts of Xi Jinping, is about to be raised for, listen to this, a Chinese-run special economic zone. According to documents reviewed by Newsweek, it will have its own customs and immigration formalities, a shipping port, and
so they're going to have their own shipping port in that area. What? Boy, no boy. Nah. I don't think that that's fair. I'm looking at it from both sides, brothers and sisters. If I cannot do that in your country, you shouldn't be able to do that in my country. Point blank and period. But then again, different countries have different rules. So where they are setting up, the Chinese are setting up their establishments for them to say, hey, you cannot do this. You're a foreigner, you cannot do this. In your country where you don't have any regulations and these kind of things, they're set up to protect the people or the assets that is rightly owed to the people or for the people, then they're just coming to pimp. Just like what they do in the United States, acquiring thousands upon thousands upon thousands of acres. So yes, there's a problem there in Antigua too, but it happened in the United States. We need to, understand these things.
and a dedicated airline and will be able to issue passports. That's
what? Nah. The natural paradise on the island of Antigua, where officials will study the thoughts of Xi Jinping, is about to be raised for a Chinese-run special economic zone. According to the document reviewed by Newsweek, it'll have its own customs and immigration formalities, a shipping port, and dedicated airlines, and will be able to issue passports. Guys, all you don't find something funny about what I just read there? I think it's a bit funny, brothers and sisters. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm delusional.
It's a country, Rick.
They're going to issue passports from this place?
Yes.
Which Antiguan passports?
So it will establish businesses offering everything from logistics to cryptocurrencies, facial surgery to virology. China, its state-owned companies and aligned private businesses.
Nah, something is definitely wrong here, guys. Something is definitely wrong if that is actually true.
Have been expanding rapidly in the island nation of Antigua and Barbuda and in other Caribbean countries in this strategic region long known as America's third border. According to the Newsweek investigation of government and corporate documents there in Antigua, we are aware that China...
But then again, you guys have to keep in mind, America is also encroaching on the east. So while America is saying... so while they're talking about, you know, the doorstep or the third border, they're also doing these things, encroaching onto the east of the world. America is doing the same thing, so they are talking about it, and it seems like it's okay, because that's one of the reasons why Russia has a problem with the United States on the basis that they're trying to push NATO across to Ukraine and a number of places, to the point where Russia was saying, not today, no, that's it, no more, you know. So they have been slowly moving to the east, brothers and sisters. It's not like this is a mistake of sorts. I remember when Russia said they want to put their stuff in Cuba, and they say not on our doorstep, yet still they're going over there to do it, and Chinese is coming over, and then they're going closer to China, and they say, you know, you understand my sentiment right there, brothers and sisters. I don't think it's fair. When one is doing something, you're supposed to be able to do it. It's just that they're looking like the third countries, third world countries, as if they're nothing. They can do whatever they want to the third world countries. That's what it looks like. That's what it appears like. And that should not be at all.
China may use its commercial and diplomatic presence for military purposes. In Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, China has already abused commercial agreements at host country ports for military aims. Our concern is that they may do the same in this region. That's coming from a spokesperson for the Florida-based Southern Command.
It's not me. They will definitely do that. We also believe that even in Dominica, there's some fishy business that might be going on in the embassy in Dominica. Who knows what is going on, brothers and sisters? Some fishy business is going on.
Here in Florida, hundreds of millions of dollars of loans and grants from China and extensive construction by Chinese state-owned companies of critical infrastructure, including ports, airports, and water systems, are turning Antigua, once considered part of America's backyard, into China's front yard, the critics say.
But hey, guys, don't get me wrong. If Antigua decide, hey, China we want to deal with, and China is beneficial to us or whatever in that regard, there's free movement or whatever, that's up to Antigua to do. Same thing for Dominica, same thing for the rest of the world in that regard. Okay, if they decide, hey, okay, we want to stick to the United States or whatever, that's great. Everybody has a sovereign right for them to choose. My problem here is, if you cannot do that in their country, why are they doing that in your country? If you don't want them to do that in your front step, why are you doing that in their front step? You get my drift, guys. That's my whole issue right there. So everyone can choose who they want. They want to go to Taiwan, they want to go to China. Hey, c'est la vie. But it must be on a fair playing field. If you acquire land in Antigua, Antigans must be able to acquire land in China. They must be able to do these things.
Now, this is a strategy China's been doing for a very, very long time, dumping either tons of money or tons of loans into areas. The loans aren't able to be paid back. China repos everything and then establishes their CCP presence.
America's leadership is obsessed with Israel and Ukraine. And while we're fighting wars, giving them money for wars, China is in our backyard taking over the Caribbean islands.
So we in the backyard now. We're in only doorstep now, in only backyard. But don't worry about backyard and front yard now. They actually in the United States today. So we only have a problem there too. Okay. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? These are just my thoughts on this thing. What are your thoughts, man? Do you think that is the case? Do you think that Antigua shouldn't be worried? Do you think Gaston Brown has sold out his people so that he can maybe get some stuff, you know, some monies in that regard? Because we heard certain situations like this happening in Africa, where the African leaders are literally selling out their own people so that China or the powers that be can literally come into the country, pay the officials big monies. You know, we'll build you a mansion, we'll give you $2 million and all those kind of things there. All you have to do is just do that for us. That's all we want you to do, and we'll secure you. So he thinking about himself, oh, really? Okay, thanks. I will do what you want me to do while I benefit and completely neglect the people. This is why it's so important, brothers and sisters, that you elect leaders who will do things that are beneficial to and for you. We cannot just be electing leaders because they give you $500 or $300 and you say, oh, they pay for my vote, so I vote for them. Really? You destroyed your own self in the process. People doesn't think, all he doesn't think, boy. Humanity does just make me want to just weep bitterly, man. Anyways, guys, tune in for the next reaction I'll be doing today on the Mr. Leaks vlog, Mr. Leaks reaction. And guys, of course, check out the Mr. Leaks vlogs in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. And of course, this is pretty much all about for this Brbptv reaction episode. Be real, brothers and sisters. Don't forget to click the like button and of course subscribe and turn on that post notification to help this channel grow, and of course for you to be notified when I drop my videos. Right, as well, Mr. Leaks once again, guys. Be real, be positive.